Hi everyone, I am back in my garage and I'm gonna buy a tripod after this video because this is a really ratchet setup. I have my camera leaning against this random chair I found in the garage, so bear with me for today. I want to talk about something a little bit different from the past two videos I've made, which are about health. Today's video is inspired by my direct experience the past couple of days, and it's been quite intense, and I've done a lot of self-reflection. And this is about being truly authentic. We've heard of this phrase being thrown around quite a bit, probably, you know? Be authentic, be yourself. But what does that really mean? If someone asks you, how are you really? And you're not okay, you're having a really, really rough day, but you tell them, oh, I'm fine. How are you? Is that being authentic? What about if you made plans with a friend to hang out and you're very excited about it, but as the date approaches, maybe something came up for you, you're really stressed, you need some time to process whatever you're going through, anything, and you just really, really don't want to go. It's such a dread, but you don't want to disappoint your friend. You don't want to be a bad friend that cancels last minute. So you follow through. Maybe you have a good time, but maybe you're just pretending the whole time, waiting to go home. Is that being authentic? What's about when someone that you have a close relationship with, a family, a close friend, a teacher, a boss, and they ask you for a favor, and you feel like you should say yes because from the societal standard point of view, you're obligated to help them, or else you are selfish, you're ungrateful, you are unkind, blah, blah, blah. And so you say yes, even though you feel this internal struggle going on and perhaps you don't really want to. It's not really coming from your heart. Is that being authentic? I've noticed there are many subtle ways in my life in which I've been putting on these masks because of various fears. Fear of judgment, fear of the other's perception of me, or even my own perception of myself, you know? I want to be this loving, compassionate, aware, kind, generous person 100% of the time. That's the ideal. And so I'm also afraid of falling short of my own standards. I don't want to see myself as selfish, as unreliable, as unkind, unhelpful. I think the deeper core of that is because a lot of people, myself included, has not truly learned how to derive their sense of worth and validation from within, truly. And at least for me, I think I've spent the majority of my life projecting out to seek that confirmation from the external world and putting a condition on my sense of worth. For example, I am worthy if I get these grades, if I get this job, if I get this person to like me. If this thing happens this way, then it's proving to me that I am a good person, a worthy person, and I am loved. So it's always dependent on some external thing to reflect back to me that I have value or that I am loved. And the problem with that is when everything is derived externally, there is so much fear of messing up, and all your power is out there because you can't risk to have whatever on the outside not be there anymore. You're afraid of having that fall apart, because if it does, nothing's going to be there to reflect to you that you are valuable or worthy or loved. And that is the worst thing to the ego. It's really scary, you know? But putting on masks and not being authentic comes with a really huge price too. Because I've realized that no matter if you're on the spiritual journey or just trying to improve yourself, you know, just trying to be on this self-evolution journey, the first step is to be honest and to be authentic, because you cannot change what you're denying. You have to fully see and accept where you are, come face to face with it, and then you can change or shift if you desire to. But that first step for any type of evolution is radical honesty, complete honesty and authenticity. And also, I think if you do try to put on a mask or hide, maybe in the moment you do get what you want, but you never feel good about it. Even if you get that thing, if you know you got that thing because you had to pretend, you never feel fully safe with it. You're always gonna feel like you might lose it, and you will never be as connected to that thing or that person because you're not showing your true self. You're never gonna be happy like that. It's never a true satisfaction or true fulfillment. That only comes when you have the courage to really show yourself and show who you are. So the question is, what are you willing to sacrifice to be authentic? Because sometimes there are consequences. You risk people not liking you, criticism, losing a relationship, losing money, losing a job. And the only reason why we would ever choose to not be authentic is because we see something else as more important than the authenticity. We think that this relationship, this person, this money, this validation, this approval is more important than us staying true to ourselves. And again, I think the underlying fear of that is not being loved and not being approved in general. I think that's the core fear that drives all the other fears that we have. And so we feel like we can't afford to lose that. So we'll do anything, including putting authenticity further down the list. But if we want to be truly authentic, you have to prioritize being authentic over everything else and be willing to make those sacrifices and face whatever consequences that comes. And that was my lesson the past couple of days. I had two choices. I can play it safe, not communicate, not express my true feelings, and have everything look fine on the surface, but inside I knew I felt closed off. I felt misaligned. I felt bad. I knew that there was incoherence inside me. The other choice I had is to speak up, is to express myself, is to say how I truly feel. And the possible consequences of that would be the other person really not liking me, the other person thinking I am selfish, and maybe them telling other people, and just, you know, it spreads and I have this bad image in front of people. And then also there's self-judgment as well, right? There's certain expectations that I place on myself because I've been conditioned by society, and I think that this is what should be done. This is the role that I should play in this situation. And it was really hard. I meditated on it, and I thought about the worst thing that could happen if I were to express myself and say my truth. And I really turned it up, you know, like I was being really dramatic about it. Like, what if I say this thing and the whole world hates me and I have no friends and I'm judged by everyone? How would that feel? And then I let myself experience how that would feel, and it was terrible. It was really intense, like shame, fear, sadness. It was really intense, but after just letting myself really experience that, I felt a sense of lightness and freedom because I expressed my truth. I was my authentic self, and that actually I realized is worth more than anything. That feeling that you have when you are aligned with your true self and your truth is so empowering that when you feel that, it feels like the validation doesn't really matter, because this feeling that I have when I am aligned is what I was seeking for all along. It is really powerful to feel that. And so I did that, and it was like two separate things that I had to do this for. One of them, I guess, resolved already. The outcome wasn't ideal, you could say, but it really wasn't about the outcome at that point. It was about me taking the action, making the decision to express myself, and whatever the outcome is, it doesn't matter. It's me taking that step. And the second thing that I had to do this with, I haven't heard back, but I'm sure that's gonna work out well as well. I'm just really happy that I did it, and yeah, it just feels right. And I think true freedom, my teacher has told me this, is when you can go inside anywhere inside your mind and experience anything and be okay with it. There is no more fear. Even if it's really painful or really scary, you know that you are capable of going through it. And I love that. And I want to keep cultivating that courage and that faith in myself. And I think every time I make a hard decision like that, I am strengthening that part of myself that wants to be authentic regardless of what might happen. And I know this is going to be hard, right? It's not like, oh, I'm invincible now, I can just always be authentic and never be afraid of anything. Like, it's a process, it's a journey for a lot of us, and it's like day by day, hour by hour, decision by decision, just always trying my best. And if I can't do it, sometimes have grace for myself, but always striving to be more authentic and more true. And yeah, those are my thoughts today, and thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.